think about it.
Yeah, I
I
don't know
was
how I
really trying to
think
keep them out of it because you
on the
guys are
panel.
panelists.
So yeah,
What?
I'm
I
not
don't think
speaking
France
on
is a
that.
panelist.
Yeah.
Now France isn't.
Nah, I don't got to vote. I'm multitasking, so I'll come in and out. But what's the question?
I said, based on like the categories and everything, like how do you feel like coffee stands like amongst her peers, like with everything?
Oh, I mean, I mean, did you not hear her soliloquy earlier? She made a valid case in every category. She's got.
Yeah, I know what she said. I want to know what you say.
I agree with. I mean, I agree with
He
all of it.
messy.
I wrote about it. I talked about it all year. I talked about it when it's happening. I talk about it now. She's got the most battles, so she's got the work.
Hello.
You talking about impact? If you talk about impact, obviously there's a myriad of accolades that go along with a lot of things she's done between some of these main events and the names she's been in front of. No Summer Madness debut, the consistency, it's there because she also has the most work. But if you want to talk about somebody like who has less work with nothing to pick at, that's an argument about consistency that's available. Material is subjective as hell, so it's all about whoever weighs material. And performance, I think, is also a little bit subjective because there's people with peak performances.
Let me ask you this, perhaps. Let me just ask you
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
and this is solely opinion. I don't ever care which way you go. I just want your opinion on this.
Yeah.
The material thing.
Yeah.
When you're putting 25 rounds against 6 of anybody that you think is going to qualify, you don't think you can find 6 coffee rounds that will rival 6 or 9 of anybody else's rounds. You understand that's over double the content.
Oh, listen, I'm the person that argued for AWOL years ago because he does 20 plus sign battles. I feel this way. But, I mean, materials.
What about Rock? Let's talk about Rock's here, even though
material's still
Cody has
subjective,
nothing
though,
to do
because
with
it's
it.
less about the quantity and how people perceive the quality,
Right. So if you're talking quantity, I win that. If you're talking quality, if they weren't quality, would I not be having, again, female battles of the year, bodies of the year, and no clear loss? What kind of material would you have to have those accolades associated with the material?
Very good material.
How would that even make sense to say the material is subpar, but we still have her taking over damn near every ballot entry?
No, I didn't say subpar. I said subjective.
No. I'm just asking.
We're all
this is still me being subjective and devil's advocate. Like, I would want to make sense of it because I'm just as analytical.
No, I feel that.
Like, how would that make sense to me?
Like you have 8 3-round battles, right? 8 and one round with Rock Lee, and Jazz has I think 5 3-round battles. So if like somebody likes the material in her 15 rounds over the material in your 8 times 3 is 24 rounds. That's just how they perceive the material, depending on the angles, the material, the punchlines, the whatever the content that they prefer. Like, that's why I think material is ridiculously subjective. But I do think what you're mentioning about the quantity matters because it's more difficult to be able to give quality and quantity material, especially when you're doing both. So that's something.
And I just feel like if the material is not quality because of the quantity, you wouldn't be getting recommended for quality awards. I just wouldn't be in these categories, especially getting bodies, 30s against Arsenal, 30s against people that aren't slouches. It's not like I didn't go up there and battle against somebody that didn't rap. I didn't go up there and battle against somebody that is not known to be good.
Right.
So, yeah, it is totally subjective. But when I was approaching 2024, this is the way I approached it. Every battle, you need to win. And it is an opinion-based sport, so there's no scenario where you go and battle someone and 100% of people have you winning unless somebody just don't rap.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I mean? Like, that's what I went in thinking that material would be about.
And
I can't see the little tweet where it has like the things.
Yeah, I think performance also gets real, not so much subjective as to like what is labeled a good to great performance. I think we all kind of know what's like satisfactory, good to great. We watch enough battles to know how to identify a performance. But I think it's how people weigh the level of performance. Like, do you weigh somebody's peak? Like, because I would say, like, for example, Jazz versus Rock. Like, if we take everybody's best individual battle, like, that's one battle that, like, I feel like many people, men or women, don't have one to rival against. But then you got to also look at the entire year. So you're looking at multiple performances. Because, like, on this card, I had performance of the night. On this card, I had body of the night. On this card, I had round of the night, et cetera, et cetera. So, like, look at my entire year, how consistently I'm performing at a high level
So
versus
that's
at the
why I
peak.
say I really feel like, again, with material is quality of bars. That's the subjective part, because if I'm unorthodox and I'm rapping about drugs, but you're into sports, it's you're not gonna like that material. That's cool, you know. But when it comes to body of work, that's getting into the collective. That's getting into the collectives, in my opinion. So when you're analyzing the collective body of work, which is half of that category, and quality of bars, in my opinion, is saying if they're good bars or if they're not good bars. Are you writing in general bars? Are you writing just a bunch of shit that could be rapped to anybody? Is it mixtape bars? Or are you
Right,
tailoring your shit? Are you actually performing? Are you catering to the crowd?
right.
Everything. I'm taking every battle and I'm taking that into account. So that's what I'm looking at with quality of bars. Like I said, battle rap is an opinion based sport. I'm not for everyone, on top of being an unorthodox battler. I'm not even a
Yeah.
likable person because I don't like to do stuff like this. So I understand
Can I
that.
ask you, Coffee? What what have you seen or heard or lack thereof that makes you feel like you get left out of some of these conversations? Like you
I
like.
watched, I listened to the Frank White space. I listened to the
All
Keo
right, see, wait,
space.
hold on. Let me stop you there. That's where you already fucked up. We don't listen to Frank White.
No, I don't listen to it either. But because, let me tell you something that's so crazy about the spaces. Because, like, punk, no, nope, don't say that, Coffee. Because motherfuckers have a voice in something that is already opinion based, I find
Hmm.
it ridiculous but necessary that I have to get in spaces and speak to facts, because motherfuckers like that are ill informed but well spoken. So you'll believe it. That's an oxymoron in itself. You'll believe what the fuck they're saying because they're so well
Yeah,
spoken, but they're still
yeah,
ill informed. Don't even know
yeah.
what the fuck they're
Yeah.
talking
Well,
about.
the thing is about him though, he's not neither. How about you
I'm
stop
not just talking about him. I just named like three,
hashtag
four different
sponsor
people.
battles and
And
shut
that
up?
was, is
That's
this
what I need to
just,
say.
is this like a spaces, um, more so conversation, or like this idea came from like spaces? Because I really only heard, man, like a Twitter thing. Because that's where I see most of like the jazz, and I saw you got left out of the conversation, but it was just on Twitter.
I'm addressing all the spaces I heard in spaces because that's where I assume the influence would have been placed to the people that were listening to those spaces.
Okay. Now I don't be in spaces like
That
that.
makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, I'm not even talking to the panel. You know what I mean? Like, I'm literally talking to the people that quote unquote have influence in this shit and want to and speak in a way as if what I did in 2024 in itself for female battle rap was not monumental. From new tiers to not to old tiers, whatever. I took on everything, and what I do, it does inspire the next masses. That's impact that you guys can't even scale. You can't even scale that. What I do, these newer girls write me and tell me, Coffee, I'm literally rooting for you because I, in the past decade, I am the face. That is impact. I haven't seen that acknowledged at all because it hurts other people's feelings that y'all cool with. That's okay. So I feel the need to get in these spaces and stand up for myself. I feel the need to get in these spaces and be the own voice for my own influence, because you have, again, ill-informed motherfuckers that are well-spoken and well-liked. So
Ha-
anything flies in this shit. And
hashtag
I'm not
sponsor
going
battles
for
and
that.
shut up.
Oh,
My
sorry,
bad.
friends. What'd you say?
I said hashtag sponsor battles and shut up. My bad.
Yeah, like it's just a lot of people that just need to be quiet if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. If you don't know what Coffee did in 2024, then don't be talking about Wody 2024. You got homework to do just like we do the work. We do the work, you do the homework, then you come up here and talk.
Hey, Coffee. One thing that I do want to say though, because it is a part of it, right? There's It's not a crime for somebody to campaign as a fan for somebody that they want to see win. You understand what I'm saying? That it's not a crime to do that. I just think that's.
So then it's not a crime for me to have him blocked. And now I'm going back and blocking
Oh
him.
no,
Thanks a lot
of
for
course
that.
not.
On to my topic.
Yo,
So,
shut
like
up,
I was saying,
man.
I just don't like that shit. It's one thing to be, you could be pro someone without being
Anti
con
another one.
someone else.
I agree with that. I think that it's always cool to champion.
You out here making posts saying after Wody races between two people, and that's cool if you believe that. But if a motherfucker is telling you Coffee have 25 fucking rounds, then that needs to be acknowledged too. Or don't come up here like you're informed, because then people get offended and other things happen.
To Doc's point though, as well, to counter Doc's point, I think when you have influence or when you're in a position of power to easily influence people, I do think you have to be
There's a
responsible
responsibility,
obviously
absolutely.
on what you say. So for people like
And
the
nobody is accountable in this motherfucker for what they say. And when shit go all the way left, then everybody's wrong and it's gone too far.
so you
And
can be a
I don't give
fan,
a
but
fuck to play with people like that. I keep my head down. I do the work. I've been on that for years now.
Yeah.
So of course, when I go out and I do, like I said, 8 fucking battles all across this motherfucking country, of course I'm very irritated when people get in here and don't know what the fuck they're talking about. To some shit that I poured my heart and soul into. Bitch, that wasn't no light year last year. The fuck? So I was gonna come in here and rant and be, violating all that different shit. But no, I'd rather come in here and just actually tell y'all what the fuck was done, since clearly it is a lot of ill-informed people. It is a lot of people that don't apparently have the app, but still feel.
Yo, did you cut out or is that me?
I think she cut out.
Okay. You should cut. I'm sure she'll be back.
You're welcome, Frank. You're welcome.
Nigga, how you gonna take credit?
Man, get Frank out of here.
Yo, what's the?
France, what up?
What up with it?
It's just a reminder, man. This Thursday, the Doc Road Showcase, man. If you're a new battler, have your round ready. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a movie. You know what I'm saying? Some new battlers, you want some exposure, want to get booked somewhere that you ain't never been booked. Make sure y'all pull up, fuck with me. You know what I'm saying?
Can I have an
Of course you
opportunity?
can, brother.
I've never battled before, bro.
I mean, you knew. Of course you can.
I might have to dip in a second. I don't know if Coffee's back, but I do want to touch on one thing Coffee's mentioned. I noticed she said a lot of she's focused a lot on quantity. She does have quality and quantity, but I do want to remind her and emphasize this, that quantity isn't the only thing, because when she won her belt, I think she had the least amount of 3-round battles out of all the people that were there. But she had the biggest win with that T-top battle. So sometimes you can very much be in a world where quantity isn't the all and be all, but again, she has quality and quantity. So I just wanted to say
I think that year was between her and C3. So
that.
I
Yeah,
don't really
C3
think
had
that.
about C3 had about 5-6 battles. She had a lot more battles than people remember.
But I think C3 quality was down. Like she had a bunch of work, but it wasn't the best material. It wasn't a lot of wins.
No, for sure. Again, if you have quality and quantity, you have